Yo, this your boy Jerry Speaks, man, and I finally found the time to watch Aquaman before fucking Christmas. I just want to say, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to be updated on whenever I drop some content. Look, man, this movie of Aquaman, dude, I'm so happy that it just did 33 million in its first couple days, man. I only look forward to seeing what else it can project as the coming weeks and throughout the holidays and into the new year it comes, man. Because this movie really this is a big W for DC Comics, in my opinion. And I say that because in this movie, we get a true origin story, at least in my opinion, of Aquaman. How Black Mantis came to be. A son loses his father. Trying to take out a damn. I want to say like a European naval ship or something of that nature. Aquaman steps in, takes some names, and leaves a father to die. And a mournful and pissed off son vows revenge. And then we find out that Aquaman has a half damn brother. And then we also see at the very very beginning his father Tom falling in love with a woman by the name of Atlanta, the Queen of Atlantis. But because of her marriage to the King Oxford, I believe was his name, she had to go back to Atlantis, and we saw that, when a lot of these Atlantis guards came in to retrieve the queen. But she didn't go nicely, y'all. No, 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 no. That lighthouse was fucked up from head to toe. I mean, young Arthur Curry was just a little baby, you know, when this happened, when his mother was taken away from him, which is why in Justice League he still harbored so much hatred towards his mother. I'm glad they actually wrapped that up, in this movie because we see very later on in the movie, towards the very end, when he becomes the king of Atlantis, when he finally gets the golden trident, his mother saves Mira during an attack while they were actually, trying to obtain peace, in Atlantis, because his half brother wants a huge war, whereas Arthur just wants to stop this war from happening so then the people of Atlantis can live in peace and harmony, and we see in the very early minutes of the film, Arthur, because he's narrating the film, at the very beginning, he believed, in all of his heart that his mother was basically killed, by Atlantis, which is why he didn't fuck with him at first. Atlantis is responsible for the death of my mother, and which is why I will never be king. I'll never go there. Because, even Atlantis, saw him just as a surfacer. That's what they called pretty much a surfacer is pretty much the muggle to the Atlanteans. I'll put it to you like that. I'll use a Harry Potter reference. There you go. And so finally see Arthur Curry reunited with his mother, and she broke it down to him. She said, "Look, I did this to protect you because they'll never stop. Next time, they'll send an army." And that's the quote Atlanta, because that's what actually would happen years ago, back when Arthur was just a little kid, little baby. That's what Atlanta told, Tom, when he was just holding Arthur Curry in his arms as she left, because Arthur tells his mother after a very emotional reunion with her, he says, "Dad still walks down to the pier every single morning, waiting for you to return." And she actually ended up returning. She was set free finally. Because the story that Arthur was told by his mentor, who was played by William Dafoe, a very great performance if you ask me. He kept making up these stories, like he kept saying, like as a kid, like, when am I going to see my mother? When am I going to see my mother? And he just said, "You'll do this when you do this. You'll see your mother when you accomplish this or that." And he tells her one time during a training session when he's getting ready to fight his own brother in the Ring of Fire. He says, "Your mother loved you more than anything. She would never desert you. Your mother was sacrificed by the king, Oxford, I believe, was his name. And your mother loved you more than anything. That's all you should really know." So that's another factor that harbored Arthur's, hatred towards Atlantis, which is why he just didn't fuck with them, because he felt like they were solely responsible, not to mention himself solely responsible for his mother's death. And they went all over the place. I think they went to Athens, Greece, even. Very beautiful places, and they were in the desert to find, the lost golden trident of Atlantis. A very cool scene, to see Arthur stand his ground against that ancient monster. Even the monster was like, "Yo, no one's ever talked to me like that since the last king." And Arthur, because even the monster said, like, "Look, you're not even worthy of this." But she didn't know that Arthur could understand him because, again, in the very beginning of the film, I think the first 10, 15 minutes, I believe, first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, We see him as a kid growing up around 7, 8 years old, and he's talking. He's at an aquarium with his class, with his school or whatever, and he's talking to the fish. And these kids were picking on him. And so when Arthur Curry's getting picked on by these kids as a little kid, the great white shark that he was talking to, hears that and he sees that. He starts bumping the glass with his nose, and it takes Arthur to calm all the fish down. Like, hey, look, don't do anything. It's all right. And his eyes glowed yellow, which means I feel like from birth this kid was destined to be the king of Atlantis. But again, as I mentioned before many times now, he didn't fuck with Atlantis because he felt like Atlantis was responsible for taking his mother away, a loving mother away from her child, and killing her. So a very, very interesting way of doing that. And then also the introduction of Mira was really cool too. He was driving home with his dad, after getting shit faced. And then a tide of water just came in and just knocked him off course. And it was Mira who helped save his father by taking the water out of his lungs and saving his life. And so that's when Mira tells him, look, there's a war brewing. I need your help to stop him. And Arthur's like, look, I don't want to be a part of the war, but okay, look, I don't fuck with Atlantis, but look, I'll help you stop your war. And then I'm done. And then towards the very end of the movie, he's like, oh shit, I'm the king now. This is going to be fun. And he kisses Mira on the forehead. And he says, because, now I realize that I wasn't a mistake pretty much. I was destined to be the king of Atlantis. I am Aquaman. So I really enjoyed this movie, man. You see the action, man. You see Black Mantis even go after him, the very climactic battle between that. And then the rematch with his brother, and seeing the rematch with his brother, man, go the way that it did. In fact, the way that Aquaman even went to get the Golden Trident was when Mira actually saved his life during the first encounter with his brother for the throne, the first fight in the Ring of Fire. It was before his brother was getting ready to stab him because he had broke his mother's trident, that he had ever since he was a kid. He trained with it. She's like, are you waiting for the invitation? Jump in. So then that's when they were given a final little message to go find the golden lost trident of Atlantis, which I thought was pretty dope, which sent them all around the world practically, to Athens, Greece, I believe, is what the location was, and then in the desert, or maybe that was just CGI or something. Even so, it was pretty damn dope, regardless. And so I really enjoyed that, man. Then we see another battle with Black Mantis, man. He finally kicks his ass finally once again. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that, man. I'm really glad that Aquaman, in my opinion, resurrected, DC Comics movies. It didn't fail. It did not fall short to superhero fatigue, which is so many people were thinking that that it probably would. I was really looking forward to that, and I hope in Aquaman 2 we see Namor, because I've really been looking forward to that too. I read a few reviews, and I was hoping, I think you guys saw my other video that I posted a couple days ago where, and Jason Momoa said that he wanted to see the Flash and Wonder Woman and Aquaman too. So hopefully, that wish gets granted, and we also see Namor in there as well, man. Hopefully, or in some reference, you know what I mean. But this has been your Witcher Speaks, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the movie. I really did, man. I give it a really good 8.5 out of 10. It was really dope. Um, this has been your boy Share Speaks, man. Happy holidays to all you guys. I mean, I hope you guys do what you guys do, and you guys stay safe, regardless. If you guys have any requests as to what videos you guys want to do next, please let me know what you guys want me to do in the comment section below. They're always welcome. They always will be. Again, I love you guys, man. Peace and love.